All right, folks. Well, I guess AOC is the bigger star now because she's having mile-long, 3 miles, 3 miles, 3 mile long people just standing in line to go see AOC and Bernie Sanders. Yet Beyonce is having trouble selling out stadiums. So I guess here the bigger star is AOC. The bartender, the IQ of 75. I mean, come on, folks. The room temperature IQ. Is that what's happening right now? Is that what they're fabricating? Is that what they're manufacturing? Is that what they're selling to everybody? Looks like it. So they're trying to get ahead of the ball. Her and Bernie Sanders are hitting the I guess you can call it campaign trail. But I'm going to tell you this right now. It's dead. The Democratic Party's done. And everything that's going to be coming out in these phases of the operation, as I'd like to say, everything they're doing is going to be in vain and it's going to fall flat. Seriously. And folks, I have a hard time when I talk to like certain podcasters that are just not, they don't see what I see. The strategy here, the brilliance of Trump, the Trump agenda, the Trump effect. They think this just happened, I don't know, organic. And in a way, it did happen organically, but they just think that Trump was this billionaire guy that just decided to run for president one day and change the country. They don't see what's behind him. They don't see the firewall behind him, the machine behind him. And Trump is very good at playing coy and playing aloof. Trump, do you know who tried to assassinate you? I just don't know. This guy had 18 phones. I have 3. What does he need 18? He plays poker with everybody. He's brilliant. It's the art of the deal. That's what he's doing. So I'm going to make sense of this. I'm going to talk today about how how it's just going to fall flat. All their efforts will fall flat. It's going nowhere. Nowhere. Plus, we're having call-ins today, so get ready. We're going to be doing the call-ins today at the end of the show. That's going to be fun. It always is, except when people start telling me their life story. So I would appreciate it if you're going to call in. Just try to make it about 30 seconds to a minute long. And if you want to kick me in the nuts, kick me in the nuts. It's fine. But try to do it within 30 seconds. All right, folks. Venmo, _Rod1977. _Rod1977. And if you want to give on the super chat, I'll take your questions in the middle of the show and ending of the show. Super chat, you get first. You're the first ones up. Also, folks, get your Noble Gold. Noble Gold Investments Market Update. Gold is up 46% in a year, doubling NASDAQ and S&P 500 gains. But this isn't just another rally, folks. No, it's not. Global reserves are shifting as investors rush to secure physical gold, creating a massive supply gap. Gold is vanishing from the market, but you still have a chance. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today and turn your panic into profit. Make a qualified investment, and Noble Gold will add a free 10th ounce gold coin to your order. So noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. I deal with Colin Plume personally. I'm very happy. Folks, you got to have a gold company that you can trust and that are legitimate. That's more important than anything, and Noble Gold is it. So hit the link below and get started. Get something, because that's where we're headed. So when the lights go out, everyone knows my little routine here. When the lights go out on Amazon, my book, I wrote it on my iPhone in a month. It just took me a month to write it because I had so much shit going on in my head that I had to get it out. And my mama's book, The Mexican Mix, please leave an honest review on that as well, on both books. As you know, yesterday, man, I had a rough day yesterday, man. I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm still coming in strong. And a lot of people ask me, how are you able to do the podcast with everything you're going through, man? Don't you want to take some time off? I don't know how to take time off. Working is my oxygen. That's what I do. And that's how I get my mind out of shit. And thank God for the audience, for my audience. You guys help me getting up every morning with a purpose, because otherwise I don't know what I'd be doing. I'll be honest with you. I'd be in a bad place with everything that's going on right now. So, and I also appreciate all the prayers. When I put that out on X and everyone says, when I say I need prayers, folks, I'm coming to you humbly. I really need the prayers. So thank you so much. PatriotWear.com, being right there. Get your gear, get your stuff. Remember, we have Patriot Wear Wednesdays, where we give a 50% coupon to whatever you buy on Patriot Wear. You get 50% off. And then gift card giveaway Mondays, and then today is call-in Friday. So can't wait to hear these call-ins. So Michael Jaco and 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗃 are up there right now on Nino'sCorner.tv. Great epic roundtable talking about the war, the deep state war from each of our vantage points. Man, it was an interesting show. Really good show. I agree with about 85% of what they say. We all agree and disagree with certain things, but I do know this is an elaborate operation. I just don't know to the extent of like replacements, clones, the whole thing. I don't know if I can. I'm not all in with that, but we do have a very, very interesting conversation, and we all give our unique perspective of what we see going on the deep state war. Okay. All right. So also, folks, Laura Eisenhower and Tony Rodriguez are going to be going up real soon. That's talking about being trafficked across the universe. Hey, I'm telling you, have an open mind and just listen to him. You never know. You never know. So it's worth listening to him and just, could this really be our reality? I think it's all demonic. And listen to this. I asked him, I said, if you proclaim the name of Jesus Christ, it is said to have stopped abductions, and it's dead in its tracks. And he goes into that on Nino'sCorner.tv and how important that really is. It's worth listening to. I'm putting both worlds together, folks. The New Age stuff and the Christianity stuff. Why? To get the truth. Because I do think that you can expose it all by having the discussions and conversations with all walks, with the New Age, the Christianity, and all that stuff. And I bring it for you. I bring it for you all to figure out. So, 107 will be the general, and the general's tent April 22nd, 5 p.m. Get over there, sign up for the general's tent. I guess that's Tuesday. Tuesday, Juan will be the general. So it's going to be great, folks. It's going to be awesome. And you might want to turn it up or turn it down, baby. Here we go. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Yeah, let's go. All right. It wakes me up in the morning, gets me going, gets my cylinders running. So, fogging up again. Superstar Beyoncé, we know what she did. She switches to country and buys herself a Grammy and has been bombing in concerts with massive amounts of empty seats in stadiums. Yet somehow this annoying bartender, AOC, that I like to call her, with a IQ of about, let's give her the benefit of the doubt, 70, is turning out massive amounts of people, 3 miles long waiting lines. And folks, I'm going to be bringing on somebody, by the way. I got a very special guest that's coming on that has the business of crowds. And he's going to be talking to me and my audience about how they deliver the crowds to these people. Yeah, you just pay them and they come and they deliver busloads of people. And that's what's going on. Yep, that's what's going on. So I'll be having him on my show very soon. So 3 miles worth of crowds with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, you know, that guy has a lot of charisma every time he rolls off the couch. I don't think any of this is organic. I think it's all being pushed now. They know they have to start right now. They have to get ahead of the ball. They have to get out there and start doing bis, boom, rah, rah. And they got to have the cheerleaders. They got to show like, oh my God, this is an organic movement that's happening. AOC and Bernie Sanders together. This is absolutely amazing. Who can do this? This is like the Trump effect. Trump's not worried. We're already in the 3rd, 4th, 5th stages of this operation. They're done. And as soon as all the stuff starts coming out about Russia, 2020, all the other stuff, it's over for them. It's over for them. If it's not already over for them, which we all know it is. And what I think Trump does with the brilliance about Trump is he leaves them out there to be a constant reminder, like chum in the water, of how fucking crazy these people are. Like 𝗧𝗃 James, motherfucker, like her. Okay, same stuff. Leaves her out there. Let them be out there. Yeah, put them out there. Give them the spotlight. Let them get crazy. Why? Because it shows it proves his point. It proves his point. And it keeps everyone kind of nervous, to be honest. So, do you think there's any correlation with the women empowerment movement happening right now? So there's a big women empowerment movement happening right now with all the female space crew and AOC allegedly packing stadiums with Bernie Sanders. I'm telling you now, it's all their efforts, and it will be in vain as soon as Russiagate and 2020 get exposed. Mark my words, the Democratic Party, as you know it, will be dead. And I'm expecting a new type of party to be formed. I also believe we can see the beginning of a Trump family dynasty. Let me say that again. A Trump family dynasty. I think that's where this is going. What Trump is doing is letting the loonies run wild to make sure there is a constant reminder of how insane and radical they are as revelations continue to come out. Trump knows he's won, and now he's playing with them like mice, like a cat with mice, or like a cat with a ball of yarn. Not in any precise or particular order, but this is kind of what what I've seen with the operational phases that have taken place and are continuing to take place. First off, he had to win. He had to win the election, which he did. And then he had to install RFK, Cash, and 𝗀𝗃. Second, he had to shut down the border and begin mass deportations and label cartels as terrorist organizations as Elon and Trump clean up and expose the useless spending with Doge, a.k.a. what they went after, what Doge went after was USAID. Third, they had to put in tariffs, essentially forming the ERS. What's that doing? Well, the ERS is eliminating massive portions of the IRS, taking us away from the IRS. Then he had to end DEI, which he's done. What's coming as we close the summer and move into fall? Exposing of 2020, some kind of executive order of paper ballots to be used for 2026 midterms. Most likely, that's what I'm hearing. There's going to be a massive move Trump makes. And I'm going to say this. I don't know if a lot of you believe 𝗶𝗶 what he said, that something can happen this weekend, but a lot of things have happened during this weekend throughout history with the deep state, such as Waco. A lot of things happen on Easter. Now, am I going to die on that hill? No, I don't. I think we can go glide right past this weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing happens. But the situation that the deep state is in and China, I wouldn't be surprised if something did happen. I'm just saying. Let me know down in the comments below if you think something could happen, because to me, it's fair game. We've never been in this situation before, ever. We are in uncharted waters. What's China going to do? What's going to happen with Iran? We just found out China is working with Iran, with the Houthis. There's a lot going on. I'm going to get into that even more. So what is coming as we close the summer out and move into fall? The 2020 is going to be exposed. The executive order should happen around that time. I also believe Russiagate will bust wide open again. And the first arrest, I'm going to say this, the first arrest could take place by the FBI, by 𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏. I think something big is going to happen this year with the first arrest. That's my opinion. It's just an opinion. It's Nino's Casino. And I think Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going to say it's going to happen this year. Now, when? I don't know. I'm not putting any dates, but I'm going to give myself a little leeway here and say the window is, I don't know. I'm going to say this year going into fall. And let's talk about 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 2.0 because it sure looks like it. I think we got the new poster boy. It seems to me like they're going to try their hardest to make a martyr out of this guy. The liberals are getting all behind this guy. His wife is already, well, look, how many restraining orders did she have on him? 2, 3? I don't know. Domestic violence. This guy is like the poster boy for an abusive husband, right? But best thing about 𝗀𝗂𝗋𝗃 is I think they're going to use him for the movements. So I can expect, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, all right, okay, I see what they're doing here. Get La Raza behind this guy. Start with the protest. And you know that's what they're going to try to do. I don't know how they're going to fund it now that USAID's out, but they have their ways. And I think something's going to come from this, 𝗀𝗂𝗋𝗃. So it's going to, the liberals are going to get behind this for unethical deportations, for the left to create movements to stop mass deportations. AOC, Bernie Sanders are going to ride this wave. They're going to ride this wave with unethical mass deportations. Watch and see. That's where this looks like it's going. But I'm going to tell you the Democratic Party is dead. You're simply watching the kicking and screaming as they try to climb out of the burning, bottomless pit of hell. Yes, I'm on fire. They're done. And this is going to be all their last efforts. And I really think Trump is playing cat and mouse. He's just like playing with them like a ball of yarn, hitting the little mouse here and there, letting them get out there in public and scream and shout and make a big noise, make fits. He's letting them do it because he's reminding you got to keep them out there. You got to keep the crazies. You got to keep the crazies out there so that, you know, it proves his point. So you always have that element of, oh, fuck that. Fuck, we ain't going that direction again. You got to keep him out there like chum in the water. And I think that is what he's doing. Another situation brewing is the Steve Bannon and Elon Musk infighting. I've been watching that. I've been talking to people within Bannon's camp, and it looks like it's escalating. I think this might be the hill that Steve Bannon dies on. I mean, this is what he wants to do. He's going after Elon Musk, and it's escalating. Lots of patriots have their own ideas and where the community should be headed, as well as policies and agendas regarding China. Steve Bannon is very opinionated. He's a very opinionated guy. I'm not going to say he's not right. I can't say I trust Elon completely. I don't like the whole AI thing. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I want to like Elon. I really want to like Elon, but I don't know. I really don't know. But Steve Bannon pushes Trump to escalate trade war with total embargo on China. MAGA influencer Steve Bannon urged President Donald Trump to escalate his trade war by placing a total embargo on all trade with China. Bannon's call for cessation to trade came after China cut off the supply of rare earth exports. And Trump retaliated by banning the sale of technology needed for artificial intelligence. There is a methodology to go up the escalatory ladder, Bannon said on his Wednesday War Room broadcast, and I'm all for it. But if you want to climb off, you got to have a discussion. And President Xi is not going to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, let's get together for a cup of tea, he continued. It has to come some other way. Folks, we are in a very, very hot situation with China right now. I don't think people understand. I'm going to bring on, once he gets permission, if he gets permission, one of Steve Bannon's right-hand men, and I'm going to bring him on Nino'sCorner.tv. And let me tell you, he knows everything about China going down. He's a very good strategist. So I'm going to be bringing him on as well. President Trump says big progress is being made on trade deal with Japan after meeting with Japanese officials. And let me just say this, folks. Right now, China is in a much worse, from what I'm hearing, situation than Japan was in World War II when they attacked Pearl Harbor. Think about that for a second. Worse situation. What are they going to do? Do any of you really think they're going to just take a knee after everything? They're already committed, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. They are committed. And why do I say that? Lest we forget what happened in 2020. Remember what Juanito says. Those were weapons of mass destruction that we were hit with, that America was hit with. And I'm not going to say any more on FluffTube, but you all know what I'm talking about. We got hit twice. Boom, boom. So they're in. We're just fighting back right now. They got to make a move, in my opinion. I don't know what. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to. Trump again calls for Fed to cut rates, says Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. President Donald Trump on Thursday again called for the Federal Reserve to lower rates and even hinted at the termination of Chair Jd Powell. His post on Truth Social comes a day after Powell delivered a speech at the Economic Club of Chicago in which he noted that the administration's tariffs put the central bank in a tricky spot as it decides whether to tame inflation or boost growth. This is not the first time Trump criticized Powell's approach to U.S. monetary policy. President Donald Trump on Thursday again called for the Federal Reserve to lower rates and even hinted at the termination of Chair Jd Powell. This is pretty crazy to me. I don't know if you guys saw Elon Musk's post, but he talked about, which was kind of weird, but he talked about going to hell. And if he was in hell, he'd be seeking out Woodrow Wilson, who created Woodrow Wilson was the president that signed the Federal Reserve Act in 1913. So I found that to be kind of like, wow, okay, that's very telling. What's happening here? So it's obvious to me we're going after the Federal Reserve. Trump said the ECB is expected to cut interest rates for the seventh time, and yet too late. Jd Powell of the Fed, who is always too late and wrong, yesterday issued a report which was another and typical complete mess. Oil prices are down, groceries and eggs are down, and the USA is getting rich on tariffs, Trump said. Too late, should have lowered interest rates like the ECB long ago, but he should certainly lower them now. Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. So looks like Powell's getting ready to go out the door. I'm telling you, folks, this is an operation. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but look what Trump's doing. And yesterday when I had I think it was Nick Adams on, and I was trying to like throw some seeds out there, like this is an operation. You know, maybe the first term he was just kind of smoking everybody out, learning everything, you know. And I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I think I come across crazy to a lot of people, and that's fine. Crazy like a fox. Yeah. Alex, say hi to everybody, man. The man behind the curtain, Alex.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Nice to see y'all today.
Alex, are we going to get some phone calls in today? I guess we should put the link out now, right?
Yeah, I was going to send it a little bit later so people don't jump in too early, but yeah, we're going to do phone calls, folks. We're trying to keep it a little bit somewhat snappy, so I'm going to have a harder
I should put on my boxing couple and get ready for this. But you know what? I'm more nervous that they're going to say something crazy for YouTube than say to me. But they've been pretty good so far. But all right, Alex, put the link out there. Let's get started on this. And super chats, folks, get your super chats in. I will be answering questions the middle of the show. So here we go. Terrifying moment. Cowering students fled as shooters opened fire from an orange Hummer. Terrified students fled for their lives at Florida State University's Tallahassee campus on Thursday after a gunman opened fire from an orange Hummer. The horror unfolded around midday, with witness Mackenzie Heater telling NBC News the gunman named Phoenix Ickner, I guess is how you say his name, fired a hail of bullets at students and faculty. Heater says the gunman fired about 15 rounds. Eicher was identified as the son of a local sheriff's deputy. He was wearing an orange shirt, khaki shorts, and looked like just a normal college dude, according to Heater. Two people were killed, and 6 were injured during the tragedy. The gunman killed the victims with his mother's handgun. Jeez. Earlier reports from WFTV said 2 gunmen had killed their 4 victims, with 1 shooter also killed in the incident, but the broadcaster has now revised its reporting to say 6 have been injured, 1 critically, and the rest seriously. And the rest seriously. They're being treated at a local hospital. Is this them running, dude? Wow.
Yeah.
Was that them running? It looked like they were jogging. I would have been sprinting.
I know.
Looks like they're going on a Sunday jog, man.
Hopefully they were
I would have been hauling ass. That's crazy.
The students got an alert, like a campus alert on their phones. So I guess hopefully they all just started scattering. And
wow, that's insane. That's insane. Yeah, one student shared chilling footage from inside a classroom where people were cowering in fear. Cowering. Why would they say? Of course you're cowering. Cowering in fear under their desks. A person can be heard bashing on the door multiple times, yelling, "Open up, open up." But the terrified students were seen remaining silent and not moving in response. Oh my gosh. Man, you're not safe anywhere anymore, man. You know, just right here in Las Cruces, they had a park shooting. This is going to pick up, folks. And you know what I think? I think there's going to be military on the streets very soon. I think something's going to happen where military is going to be on the streets. And then you have to wonder, was this all planned to be that way anyway? Sorry, my mind goes there. The gunman who allegedly opened fire at the Student Union building at Florida State University has been identified as the son of the sheriff's deputy. Phoenix Eichner, a student at the university, allegedly used one of his mother's weapons in Thursday's bloodbath that left 2 dead and 5 others injured at the campus. Crazy. Wow, is that the... Wow. Damn, that's crazy. You know, just the fact that they choose the fact that they're even recording it on their phone to me is wild. That'd be the last thing I'd be thinking of, man. That'd be the last thing I'm thinking of. All right, Alex, that's good. All right, folks, Harvard sees grave consequences as Trump pushes IRS action. Harvard University pushes back against the U.S. government after President Donald Trump said the school should lose its tax-exempt status, warning that such a move would endanger its ability to carry out its mission and threaten higher education in America. There is no legal basis to rescind Harvard's tax-exempt status, university spokesman Jason Newton said in a statement, adding that such a move would damage Harvard's medical research efforts and ability to offer financial aid for students. He also cautioned that using this instrument would have grave consequences for the future of higher education in America. Yeah. It's like, man, we're on to you. It says we're on to you. Trump has escalated his fight with the oldest and richest U.S. university after the school refused to bow to his administration's demands. The U.S. froze more than $2.2 billion of multi-year grants this week. Trump suggested the Internal Revenue Service should tax the university as a political entity, and then his Homeland Security chief threatened to prevent the school from enrolling foreign students. The White House has sought to overhaul elite education, arguing that students need to combat anti-Semitism after protests against Israel broke out on the campus across the U.S. in the wake of Hamas attack on the Jewish state and the resulting war in Gaza. So I have a problem with this, obviously. I think you should be able to protest anybody you want. Just my opinion. You know, I'm an American. So, yeah, I think you should be able to protest against anybody you want. I don't think there should be a cap on any of that. And that's just how I see it. So that, to me, raises some red flags, if you want the honesty. Just my opinion. The 2028 race, folks, AOC draws a 3-mile long if you believe this. I don't. 3-mile long line for rally in California's Trump country. Wait a minute. California's Trump country. Rep. Kevin Kiley is under the fire again as consultants from his conservative-leaning district are becoming increasingly fed up. So, Kiley was under the microscope Tuesday at the most recent rally held by Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Bernie Sanders in Folsom. The Sacramento County event was the 10th stop on Sanders' fighting oligarchy tour. So they're on this fighting oligarchy tour, folks. That's what they're calling it, which has been co-headlining with Ocasio-Cortez in cities across the West. Tuesday's event, despite taking place within Kiley's heavily red district, drew about 30,000 supporters and had a 3-mile-long line extending beyond the entrance. I don't know if I believe this. I don't. And if this is true, she's outselling Beyonce. Let's get to border news. Border news, folks. Border news. 𝗷𝗃𝗀 Garcia's wife responds to the restraining orders that have been revealed. The wife of Maryland man listen to how they say this on the article, folks. This is how they read. I'm going to read it how it says here. Mistakenly deported to El Salvador. Let me say that again. Mistakenly deported. And this is the shit liberals are reading. The wife of Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador is criticizing the Trump administration for publicly releasing details of a 2021 restraining order against him. Oh, but he's such a nice guy. And the liberals are giving him so much money. Folks, I see people with cancer starting a GoFundMe that can't reach their goal of $5,000. Yet this guy right here, I think he's over $200,000 now, his GoFundMe. Jennifer Vázquez-Sura, whose husband, Kilmer Abrego Garcia, was deported just before the U.S. Supreme Court ordered his return, called the move an unjust act of abduction and defended her husband against the resurfaced allegations. In an exclusive statement to Newsweek, Vázquez-Sura responded to the Department of Homeland Security's DHS release of court filings alleging domestic violence. The documents include her 2021 request for a protective order in which she accused her husband of punching and scratching her, ripping her shirt, and leaving her bruised. The temporary order barred Abrego Garcia from contacting her and directed him not to harass or abuse her, according to the filings. But she wants them back home. So you know that she's being approached by the Democrats, and they're like, we got to get you out there. We got to get you out on the podium. We got to get you out on stage. You got to really sound the alarm bells on the Trump administration, and you got to really, plead for your husband's return. They're going to use this guy as 2.0. That's what they're doing. After surviving domestic violence in a previous relationship, I acted out of caution following a disagreement with Kilmer by seeking a civil protection order in case things got escalated. She said, things did not escalate, and I decided to follow through from the civil court process. We're able to work through the situation privately as a family, including going to counseling. Man, this guy lucked out, huh? MS-13 comes here, enjoys all the luxuries of the United States, right? Gets counseling. And now his ass is back in El Salvador. And I don't know if some of you have seen this prison, but this max security prison in El Salvador is nothing to fuck with. You're done. You go there, you're never coming back. And the president himself said, it's not up to Trump, it's up to me. He's not coming back. What do you all think about this? Put your, I'd like to know. What do you all think about this? Do you think he should be returned? I hope I have some liberals watching this. I know I don't, but what do you all think? Do you think he was wrongfully taken out of the country? And this is what they're doing. This is the desperate attempt. They're reaching for straws, folks, doing whatever they can. And this guy is going to be the martyr. He's going to be the martyr. He's the new George Floyd 2.0, in my opinion. Maryland Senator Van Hollen says he was denied entry to the El Salvador prison holding Abrego Garcia. San Salvador. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen says he was denied entry into El Salvador prison on Thursday while he was trying to check on the well-being of 𝗀𝗏𝗋 Abrego Garcia. You should have checked on his wife's well-being when she was getting beaten. How about that? Why don't you go check on her? Is she even legal? I'm so confused here. So did he come here and marry an American girl, and now he's got his? I don't know how this is working out. So 𝗀𝗏𝗋 Abrego Garcia, a man who was sent there by the Trump administration in March, despite an immigration court order preventing his deportation. Van Hollen is in El Salvador to push for Abrego Garcia's release. The Democratic senator said at a news conference in El Salvador that his car was stopped by soldiers at a checkpoint about 3 kilometers from the terrorist confinement center, even as they let cars go on. They stopped us because they are under orders not to allow us to proceed. Yeah, I think you should obey those orders, you moron. U.S. President Donald Trump and Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele. Is it Bukele? How do you say it, Alex? I know you're going to give me
Bukele.
Said this week that they have no basis to send him back, even as the Trump administration has called his deportation a mistake. That's not true. And the U.S. Supreme Court has called on the administration to facilitate his return. Trump's officials have said that Abrego Garcia, a Salvadorian citizen who was living, a Salvadorian citizen. So already, there it is. A Salvadorian citizen. Let me say that again. A Salvadorian citizen who was living in Maryland has ties to MS-13, but his attorneys say the government has provided no evidence that the Abrego Garcia has never been charged with any crime related to such activity. I gotta say, man, this is getting hot. This is getting heavy, folks. This is when the rubber meets the road right here. China tariffs, deportations. The Democrats are desperate. China's desperate. What the hell's going to happen? I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. I think, let me know if all of you in the chats, what you all think. I mean, I would imagine most of you feel the same way I do, which is, man, what the hell is going to happen here? Something's got to bust. Something's got to pop. The pimple's got to pop. It's like a big whitehead on your nose. It's got to pop. And what's going to make this pop? And I personally think, and this is just an opinion, but from all the data that I'm getting from other people, from the different camps of people that I talk to, I think Trump is waiting on an event to happen here in the States that the people will rally behind, to get behind him, to enforce some kind of situation where military needs to come in and do mass deportations. That's what I think is going to happen, because he's not really able yet to go kick down doors and raid places. And I think he's itching to do that, in my opinion. Just in my opinion, I think he's itching to do that. And I think something needs to happen in order to do that. Call me crazy. Let me know your thoughts below. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you all think. And today's question, main question for the call-in, do you think that's a possibility? And what's your thoughts on AOC? Do you think it's manufactured or organic? Do you think the AOC hysteria, she's bigger than Beyonce, is manufactured or organic? I think there's a guy I have a guy coming on. I think it's called Crowds on Demand. You can get crowds on demand. Yeah. So I think that's what they're using. And that's just, I don't know, just a theory. But I'm going to be bringing him on Nino's Corner.tv to talk about this in depth. He owns the company. Supreme Court will weigh in on Trump's plans to restrict birthright citizenship. In Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court on Thursday said it would weigh in on the Trump administration's request that it be allowed to broadly enforce its new restrictions on birthright citizenship while the policy is being litigated. The court said it will hear oral arguments on May 15th, its first challenge to the new administration's policies that the justices have taken up for public discussion. I am so happy. President Donald Trump said Thursday, I think the case has been so misunderstood. The administration has asked the court to scale back the nationwide actions that judges in Maryland, Massachusetts, and Washington issued to pause Trump's order limiting birthright citizenship. The Department of Justice said Trump should be able to enforce the policy for everyone except the people directly named in the lawsuits and those who live in states that have sued in the court think states have a legal right to challenge the order. The government also wanted to be able to develop guidance on how it will implement Trump's directive if it is upheld. Ha! I like this. I like it. So many people come here and just have babies. They have a lot of babies. Hi, David, give me a baby. I want to stay here, David. But give me the babies. Give me the babies. But I want some babies, David. I want to live here in America. You know, that's like all over. I'm telling you, folks. Telling you, Mr. David, give me the babies, Mr. David. U.S. troops deployed on border mission are killed in New Mexico. 2 U.S. servicemen deployed in the U.S.-Mexican border were killed, and a third is in serious condition after a vehicle accident near Santa Teresa, New Mexico. That's where I go ride my dune buggy, folks. Santa Teresa. Damn, there's so much that's happened. That's where Chapo got popped. El Mayo got popped. Santa Teresa is literally 10 minutes up the road. I take my dune buggy up there, and I ride the dunes. It's very peaceful, but there's a lot of stuff going on in Santa Teresa. I'll tell you that right now. The accident occurred around 8:50 a.m. Mountain Standard Time Tuesday outside of El Paso, Texas. You guys know what the other name for El Paso is? El Paso. El Paso. That's what I call it. El Paso. Oh, man. The names of the deceased will not be released until the next of kin are notified. The troops are deployed there in support of President Donald Trump's executive order to secure the U.S.-Mexico border, Joint Task Force Southern Border. That's sad. Prayers are with these guys, fallen soldiers, folks. World War III news. Let's get to some World War III news. Trump rejects Israel's plan to bomb Iran nuclear sites. So a lot of people are saying, well, wait a minute. I guess he's not really doing everything that Israel says, is he? I don't know. I'm still waiting to see more proof of that, folks. And I'm a Trump supporter 100%. Everyone knows that, but I don't. I'm like, 𝗀𝗏 came on my show and said the most profound statement. I'm a patriot, not a loyalist, and that's what I am. I'm a patriot, not a loyalist. And honestly, I don't know. Trump rejects Israel's plan to bomb Iran nuclear sites. I mean, you all make up your own mind on that. U.S. says China firm is helping Houthis target American warships. So there you go. China's getting involved. Chinese satellite company linked to the country's military is supplying Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen with imagery to target U.S. warships and internal vessels in the Red Sea. So that's an act of war. Doesn't look like they want to come and do a deal at all, does it? According to American officials, the Trump administration has repeatedly warned Beijing and satellite technology, a commercial group with ties to the People's Liberation Army, is providing the Houthis with the intelligence, according to the U.S. officials. The United States has raised our concerns privately numerous times to the Chinese government on satellite technology role in supporting the Houthis in order to get Beijing to take action, said a State Department official. The official added that China had ignored the concerns. He also told the Financial Times that CGSTL actions and Beijing's tactical support, despite Washington's warnings, as yet another example of China's empty claims to support peace. So they're supplying the Houthis with satellite imagery on how to bomb our shit. Yeah, it really sounds like they want to come and make a deal, does it? Not. How many people have not heard that in a while? Not. AP spins. This is pretty crazy. So 𝗂𝗏 sent me this, and I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of goes back all the way back then. So this is kind of crazy. I'm into a lot of history and the Mayan pyramids and what they were really used for. But AP, okay, Associated Press spins Mayan child sacrifice as non-violent, connecting with celestial bodies. So demonic. In other words, demonic. Archaeologists in Guatemala uncovered an ancient Mayan altar that was clearly used for child sacrifice. Yet the Associated Press managed to find someone to claim the practice was not at all violent, but just their way of connecting with celestial bodies. Demons. Okay, I'll make it easy for everybody. Demonic forces. This has been going on since the beginning of time. The AP story published last week recounts the discovery of the altar in the 𝗂𝗃𝗃 National Park, about 325 miles north of Guatemala City. According to AP, the enormous city-state of Tikal, whose towering temples still stand in the jungle, battled for centuries with Canul dynasty for dominance of the Mayan world. The Mayan world extended north into Mexico, where the city of Teotihuacan, one of the largest in the world in its peak between 100 BC and AD 750, wrote AP, stood. Teotihuacan, I think that's how you say it, near present-day Mexico City, is famous for its Pyramid of the Sun and Pyramid of the Moon, both of which were used for human sacrifice, which, if you want to know the truth, happens today among some very powerful people. This has been going on a long time, folks. The newly discovered altar, which is about 1 yard by 2 yards by 1 yard in size, is covered in limestone. It was found in a dwelling that featured anthropomorphic figures with tassels and red tones. A detail from the Teotihuacan culture, noted AP. Archaeologists spent 1.5 years uncovering and analyzing it before the discovery was announced. But yet they're downplaying it, saying, it wasn't too brutal. I mean, they were just, it's religious purposes. You can sacrifice kids for religious purposes. Not so bad. That's the Associated Press for you, folks. Making light of the situation. So let's talk about some Bezos space travel. I got to tell you, folks, this coffee's good. I had a pretty rough day yesterday. Pretty rough day. And now I'm just, I keep popping. I keep delivering these shows even when I don't want to on certain days. But I come here for you all. And I appreciate all of you that come here religiously. And, it's Easter weekend. I think I'm starting to go to Bible study a lot more. I'm starting to do my things now. I'm really starting to try to just get better with God and Jesus Christ, because I know what's happening with my parents. Everything that's happening in my life right now is just it's that time, man. The middle-aged years, that time of transition, I guess. I don't know. It's just a time of transition. And when you're young and you're boxing and you're fighting and you're partying, you think that's going to last forever. And it doesn't, obviously. And then every move you made in your 20s and 30s, you suffer the ramifications for those in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, man. I'm glad I was able to turn the boat around. I'm glad I'm sober. I can't believe it's going to be 5 years and 4 months, and soon it'll be 5.5 years. Where is the time going? I feel like we're in a time warp. I saw someone put out on X, someone should study the time warp of 2019 to now. Did these last 5 years just go by so much faster than any other 5 years ever before? Because it feels to me, and I don't know if that's just because of my age, but it really does feel like these last 5 years was like warp speed. I blinked and it's 2025. And I know they say time goes by faster when you get older, but holy shit, man. It's like, it's scary because now I'm like, man, I want to put on the brakes. This is crazy. Like, how fast is the next 5 years going to go? And then after that, it's like I'm 80. It's like, shit. I don't know, folks. I think this whole space travel thing with Jeff Bezos, I think my philosophy on it is it's a race. It's like a pissing contest with Elon Musk. I don't know. I bet you one of these celebrities that he's taking, think about this. Think about the insurance policy this guy has to take out for celebrities to go into space. Women, all women crews. And what's with the women empowerment? Why are they just sending women up there? And at the same time, as they're building up this whole women thing in space, they're building up AOC. The trajectory is 2028, folks. That's what they're doing. And I bet you one of these celebs at one of these points in time on one of the spaceships is going to see an alien ship and talk about it. I bet you that's what happens. And I don't know if you all saw the demonic patch that the whole crew was wearing, the demonic Baphomet head. Yeah, turn it upside down. It's a Baphomet head. I mean, it's in the open. They have to tell. That's the key here. They have to tell you what they're doing in the open. So just look at the patch, turn it upside down, and that's all you need to know. It's bullshit. So I think this whole thing with Jeff Bezos, and that's right up here, folks. That's right up the street. There it is. Katy Perry's space patch sparks bizarre claims of satanic ritual. Yeah, no, that doesn't look like a goat or anything, does it? Gee, yeah, right. Give me a break. It's in the open. It's right there for all of you to see. Didn't Katy Perry, wasn't she once like a good girl? A good Christian girl? Those are the people they want, folks. They'll do anything for fame. Yes, give me fame. I'll sell my soul. I don't care. I'll burn in hell for eternity. Just give me what I want here. That's it. That's what they do. You think it's a lie? You think it's a joke? I spent enough time in the entertainment industry. I spent enough time around these people. I spent enough time boxing 30 plus years. You don't think I met some freaks? That's all I was around. That's it. These people are disgusting. Superstar Perry became the first pop star to travel beyond the edge of space aboard Blue Origin's reusable New Shepard rocket on Monday. Did you see Bezos open up the door? Did you see how flimsy that was? It looked like, I got to use this big tool to open it up. It opened up before he even got there with the tool. And then he brings this tool to open it up, and it's a flimsy little door, not even an inch thick. Come on, folks. They're up there in space in some little piece of crap. That's not even the walls aren't even an inch thick, and they're in just regular clothes. Just stop it. Stop. I don't know I think what they're trying to achieve here is some kind of alien something. That's what they're going to be bringing. And I'm even throwing Elon Musk in with all this. I don't trust any of them. So she was joined by Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez, TV icon Gayle King, and ex-NASA rocket scientist 𝗪cie𝗶𝗹, civil rights activist Amanda Nguyen, I don't know, these last names, and film producer Carrie Ann Flynn. The 6 women returned to Earth full of excitement and joy as they joined a unique club of people to ever reach the Kármán line, the internationally recognized boundary of space. So lower space orbit, basically. The positive reviews of the trip are thrilling tales of what it was really like on board a real space capsule, are sure to have reignited hopes others can make a similar trip. I don't know, folks. I'm not saying I know what's out there, but I'm telling you, I believe I know what it's not, and I know it's not what they're telling me. That's what I believe. That's just my opinion. Just an opinion. Oh, God. Look at that thing they're in. Look at that thing they're in. Come on. I would never trust to get on that. Oh, geez. This is just, and they're all just so happy. Photo time. Give me a break. I don't know. So who should have Elon's next child, folks? The Wall Street Journal has published an eye-opening expose on Elon Musk's harem drama, driving into the relationships of the world's richest man has with his baby mamas. How many baby mamas does this guy have? She's not bad looking at all. And the lady in the within the system is which to be allegedly manages them. So Musk is on a mission to help seed the earth with more human beings of high intelligence. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, you folks do realize he is just a poster boy, right? This is all a bunch of horseshit. I'm telling you, he's just a poster boy. He was funded. We all know he was funded. Go to ninoscorner.tv if you want to know more about that. He's just a poster boy. Okay, but they're going to make him out to be the multi-billionaire Iron Man, whatever, Bachelor Wayne, Bruce Wayne type of guy, Mensa genius, whatever. I don't buy any of it either. I don't buy any of that either. Musk is on a mission to help seed the earth with more human beings of high intelligence, per the journal's Dana Matoli. The White House senior advisor has at least 14 children by 4 different mothers. Damn. Though this number is thought to be higher. Conservative influencer Ashley St. Clair, one such mother, reveals how after being impregnated by Musk, he offered her a $15 million and $100,000 a month in support, while encouraging them a legion level of children before the apocalypse. Oh boy. So they know what's coming. So fans paid hundreds for what they thought would be a sold-out Beyoncé tour. Now they're shocked she can't fill a stadium. But AOC, hey, she has lines of 3-mile line of people. But Beyoncé can't sell shit. The Independent crunched the numbers and found thousands of unsold tickets to the superstar's 2025 Cowboy Carter tour, with over 3,200 unsold seats. Damn. Remaining for her opening night in Los Angeles alone. Beyonce's Big Country Music Tour, Texas Hold'em, is not paying off with concert goers, with thousands of tickets still unsold for her Cowboy Carter tour. Yeah, you know why? Because everybody knows she bought the Grammy. Everyone knows. And you know what? Now she's paying for it. Nobody's going to her Cowboy Carter motherfucker concert. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody cares. I heard the guy. It's garbage. The official Ticketmaster site shows that the tour's opening night of April 28th in Los Angeles still has over 3,200 unsold seats, with standard tickets available from $85 and resale tickets on the site from just $35. Sales have been even slower for the final 2 nights in the West Coast city, with over 3,800 standard tickets still available for each show. That's what you get for buying the Grammy. Everybody knows. You're just going to take over country music? Not so fast. Do we have any super chats, Alex? Jenny Shu. Hey, all you sweethearts. David, I have had a bad 2 weeks, and I've not forgotten about sending you the frame pic of the black lamb. Thank you. She's almost 7 weeks old and a total little brat. That's awesome. The black lamb. Thank you so much, Jenny. Sue Ellen, super sticker. Thank you so much. Jenny, you had to put a 3-year-old dog, Catahoula, climbed out of the fence and nearly killed the dog next door, and I found a dead chicken. So just now I'm so sad. Mom been failing a lot, so oh man, and I seriously injured my back picking her up. Well, that's tough. That's tough stuff. Sorry about that. We're all having tough times right now. Jenny Shu again, thank you so much. We are under a spiritual attack. We need prayers. I detest AOC and Beyonce. So evil. Can't call But I have lots to say about them. Love you guys. Love you back. Bad Boy, the champ. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Jewelry shop. Thank you. Bad Boy Jewelry Shop. All right, let's get to what the fuck news. Do we have any callers today?
We had one pop in. That was it, but he's not here still, or not here anymore. So, if you want to call in, we got a couple more minutes. Feel free to pop in.
If you want to come in, call in and talk about AOC, Beyonce, whatever.
Yeah.
And if not, then I get an early day.
That's it.
Yes. All right. So what the fuck news? And what the fuck news? Americans killed after attempting to an American killed after attempting to hijack a plane in Belize. So a knife-wielding U.S. national was fatally shot in the chest after attempting to hijack a tropic airplane in Belize on Thursday, officials said. A state of emergency was declared at the Philip S.W. Goldson International Airport after 𝗬𝗓𝗓 Taylor, 49, began attacking people inside the San Pedro bound flight at 8:30 a.m., according to officials. The hijackers slashed several people aboard the plane before another passenger shot him. Another passenger, wait a minute, this is on a plane? Another passenger had a gun on the plane and shot him? What kind of flight is this? That's the line. Remind me never to take this, airlines. Jesus. With the suspect succumbing to his injuries, Newsweek reported during the incident, Cessna caravan, it's a Cessna, that's why, V3HIG was circling the airport in random directions before landing at the airport at 10:12 a.m., officials said. Oh, man. Concomo were growing concerns were growing over the stadium as the aircraft was running out of fuel while circling the airport, authorities said. Police and emergency personnel rushed to transport the suspect and aid the injured after the aircraft came to a stop on the runway. Belize Commissioner Police Chester Williams touted the passenger who shot Taylor as a hero. Why does this guy have a gun on a plane? That's what I want to know. Anyway, the plane was carrying 14 passengers, including 2 Americans, as well as 2 crew members. It's also unclear how Taylor managed to get inside the country after he was denied entry over the weekend, Williams said. All right, folks, let's take some calls. How many calls we got? Let's do this. All right, first call. Who we got? Clarence, how's it going, my man?
Hey, how you doing, David?
You're a first time caller, right?
A lot of things going through my head right about now. As far as the guy from El Salvador, there's some photos that show that he is in MS-13 by his tattoos on his fingers. Did you see that photo?
Yeah, and you know what, man? I've seen him.
So
I've seen him here. I know they show who they are with these tattoos. I mean, it's not hard. You can't just be
that's what I want.
An MS-13 tattoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean to me, you might as well. I mean, if you're part of the Democrat Party, you might as well just show your true colors and just show who you really are. I mean, break laws. I mean, that's what you're doing. I mean, that party is dead.
It's dead, and that's what I'm saying. And that's what's coming. They're gonna die off. They're gonna die on the vine. And Trump is purposely letting them do their shenanigans. I'm telling you, this is an operation. He's leaving them out like chum in the water to keep people reminded about how crazy they are. Like this AOC Bernie Sanders things, I doubt. And I'm going to have a guy come on my show that owns the company for Crowds on Demand. And he's going to talk about this. So we're going to talk about who's buying these people to come to their rallies, right? So a 3-mile line football, I would imagine is maybe a block long. But I mean, this is the Democrat Party. They're reaching for straws, and they're going to use this guy, I think, in my opinion, as bueno.
And I was going to ask you, are you going to have Rose Angel back on your program again?
Yes, I am. I've been so busy with my parents, man.
And also Jaguar, right? Because the reason why I'm asking you this is they were saying that they're going to release a film with Michael Jackson, and I'm just wondering if they're going to add the part that he knew people were trying to kill him in that. Because I'm like, I don't know.
So did you hear Jaguar Wright when she said that he was trafficked as a kid to Diana Ross? And
really?
Yeah. So
no, I did not hear that.
Yeah, but Jaguar Wright. So Michael Jackson was allegedly allegedly he was trafficked too. I mean, think about it. This has been happening forever. Justin Bieber wasn't the first.
Right, exactly.
I can tell you right now that I know some things that I've been told that I don't have the balls. I don't have the balls to come out and say about Justin Bieber, of people that in boxing that trafficked him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering you said Diana Ross was part of it, I think BG was basically part of that. People who don't know who that is, yeah, you figure it out.
I don't know who BG is.
Berry Gordy.
Oh wow, okay, Berry Gordy.
Yeah.
So this goes like all the way back. Like, people don't understand. It's just now hitting the open. It's just now getting exposed. Where this has been going on forever, man. And to make the moves you want to make in the entertainment industry, you got to be willing to do some things. You got to be compromised, and blackmail is the way to do it. And that's why I had 𝗬𝗏 on talking about the Playboy Mansion, because that's it right there. That was the main spot, the honeypot capital right there. That's where they were popping everybody. Everybody wants to go to the Playboy Mansion, man. Who doesn't? What man doesn't want to go? And what woman doesn't want to go?
I'm not gonna lie, I was.
Bro, when I went there, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I thought it was the best.
Wow.
Like, I thought I was in Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland for adults.
Yeah. Man. How can you not love it? But thanks for the call, Clarence. Hey, Terry.
Hang on. Hello, mate.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh,
like the
rough week.
You got Pink Floyd behind you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's upside down.
Oh, wow.
On purpose. Yeah. That space thing. God, Stingray and Star Trek was more realistic than that.
Yeah. Did you see how ridiculous that was when the door just how flimsy the door was? Are you kidding me? You're gonna send, first of all, you're gonna be Bezos, and you're gonna send 6 high-profile celebrities. First of all, you would never even take that risk. That's like, if anything goes wrong and all of them die, you're in trouble. You're done for good. So that wasn't real.
Imagine the insurance payout.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Exactly. But no, it's definitely CGI rubbish, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
But on the subject what Clarence was on about, I was very lucky when I was in a kids' home that I was not trafficked, but I did receive the abuse. But I was very lucky I didn't go on Ted Heath's yacht. I went on a Nice Guys instead. And I'm very lucky to still be friends with him.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's stuff in the real world of satanic child abuse.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, I was a victim. And
wow, man. I've been having a lot of victims on my shows lately.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of us out here, mate. And we haven't been listened to for years and decades. And like this happened in the 70s. So, Jesus. I took him to court. I had a 9-year court battle, and he just got shut down at the end.
Wow.
You know, you can't do that sort of stuff and get away with it psychologically.
Yeah. You know what? You think about the 70s and 80s, man, and how, like, it was just a free-for-all. How, if you really think about it, it was a predator's paradise, because kids would go out and they'd only have to be home when the lights come on. Well, the lights.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you imagine? Nobody knew what was going on.
We didn't even know where the kids were. Well,
no,
I didn't know where I was half the time.
Yeah.
But no, it's the victims. They get so ignored and so beaten up by it. You know, most of them. I did try a couple of times. You know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I've had my demons.
Yeah, I as well, which didn't really help matters.
Wow. Well, I love you, man. Thank you for tuning into the show. You're welcome to call in anytime.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, mate.
Right. Cheers, mate.
Only 6 years ago, and I got 6 years ago.
Wow.
What happened to 20 years in between? That was like a double life.
So are you like on an alternate timeline right now?
Oh yeah, I'm totally on a different timeline.
See, that's what I feel. After I got stabbed in my neck, I think I may have died in that timeline.
Well, in 1973, when my mum lost her face in a fire, I sort of went tomorrow's people. I went off with some very strange off-worlders for a while and got trained up for the child abuse, if you know what I mean.
So you're kind of like Tony Rodriguez.
Yeah, a bit like that.
Tony Rodriguez talks about him being trafficked off world.
Yeah, I got picked up quite a lot when I was a kid and given enhancements, if you know what I mean, or
Really?
skills. Yeah.
I like how you put that picture up behind you. I like that it's upside down.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're dealing with a all-seeing eye, I had to bring it down to my level to deal with it.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It's in my head now, and I'm dealing with the evil shit up there.
Right. Man, Terry, I wish you the best, my man. You want to call in anytime, you're welcome to.
All right, cheers, Dave.
Cheers. Cheers, Terry. Thank you. All right. Lisa, how's it going?
Not too bad. It's a pretty sunny day in Portland, Oregon, David. How are you today?
Oh, well, it's a rough one for me. It's a roller coaster every day.
We say a lot of prayers for your mama and daddy. I've been where you're at, and it's a rough road, and you've got this, my friend.
It's the toughest time of my life.
It will be.
And I don't even know how to fake the funk. I try to I come on here and I'm pretty sure people I'm pretty easy to read. Like, I'm pretty sure when I come on my morning shows, people see it and they're like, okay, he's going through it. But I still come on. I still make sure I come on.
Yep. I've been there. I've walked your road. I nursed my mama through end of life. All my grandparents. I'm a hospice care worker by trade, and what you're doing is some of the toughest stuff you'll do with your folks.
I honestly feel like I'm going crazy.
Yep. You will. You'll have days like that, I tell you. But, you know, in this crazy world, it's the love of our family that keep us going.
100%. That's all we have.
Here in Oregon, we've passed some crazy laws. The open air drug markets. Oh my gosh, the open air drug markets. They're still trying to shut them down, and you know, the mandates for the what are still in full effect in a lot of companies.
Are people abiding by that? Are people still
some? Unfortunately, a lot of our hospital workers are being forced to continue to get it.
Wow.
And
man, I'd get the hell out.
They're not being given a choice. Otherwise, they won't give them hours. They said, we can't fire you, but we just won't give you hours.
That's unbelievable. Very soon.
A lot of our hospital systems.
Yeah, and very soon. The worm's turning already. They're going to be getting sued for all of this. So whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have no doubt at some point, the tables are going to turn and people will be able to be compensated. But how many people are going to die between now and then?
I've heard from my understanding, 80% of the people have taken this in America. And if you think about it, the next 2 to 15 years, people, and they're not going to be able to correlate it. They're not going to understand, like, well, gee, why do I have turbo cancer? Why do I have this? Why did he just suddenly die of a heart attack? Because they, bing, bing, bing.
No,
and it's going to last for years.
My oldest son didn't listen when my doctor told me anybody in my bloodline should not do it. Wow. My oldest son had 3 heart attacks in 10 weeks after he had his second one. 33 now. That's
insane.
Yeah.
So, and what did they blame it on?
Oh, just, genetics. No. Genetics.
I'm sorry. And they're purposely putting out these articles too, like, oh, Diet Coke can cause heart attacks, and too much sunlight, can cause a stroke. I mean, it's just, this is all, they're all in bed together, putting this crap out there.
Oh, absolutely.
But Lisa, thank you for, go ahead.
We've been working with nattokinase, which is an enzyme that can help reduce the spike.
Wow. Okay.
And
let's keep
it seems to be helping.
Okay.
It seems to be helping.
What's it called?
Nattokinase.
Okay.
It's an enzyme.
Okay.
You can find lots of information about it online.
Okay.
And then Root Wellness has a Trinity pack, which can help flush it as well.
Wow. Okay. Well, I've heard this. Well, I'll talk more on the back channel about this, but thank you so much, Lisa, so much. I got to stay safe on here.
Have an amazing day.
You too, Lisa. Thank you for the prayers.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Thank you. All right, next. How's it going, Kelly Ray Willis?
Hey, David.
How's it going?
I'm so glad I get to talk to you. I'm here in Oklahoma. I'm the chick that has been sober for 107 days.
Wow.
because of
How does
you.
that feel?
So
How does that?
yeah,
You know,
I've
that's
been
when.
following you since the beginning.
So check this out. So 107 days. That's like, to me, when the itch starts, right? I mean, the itch started like 60
A
to
little.
120 days, and then I just had no desire after that. I don't know where
Yeah.
you're at, but like that's the critical time right there. You're in it right now.
Yeah, it was hard. The first 30 days definitely hard. Now it's just kind of a way of life. My husband doesn't drink, so once I decided to do it, I did it, and here I am.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I've been working out since August with a personal
Awesome.
trainer, and I teach school, so a lot of stress there. I'm actually at a great public school, though, here in Oklahoma. It's a small rural school, so we're still very conservative and have those great values still. So
No, that's awesome, man. Keep going. Don't stop. I'm 5 years, 4 months, and I got to tell you, people, places, things. You're gonna lose You're gonna lose friends. You're gonna lose places that you used to go to all the time. But it's a lifestyle change. You can't just think like, oh, I'm quitting drinking, but I'll still hang out with these people and I'll still go to these bars and I'll just say no.
Yep.
Just give it up, man. Just give it up.
Things have changed a little when it comes to, like where I go and stuff. But, I'm so stubborn. I think my stubbornness has paid off a lot in this because I'm just not going to do it. So
no. And you're going to have a much better life.
It feels so good to say it, and see you. And I'm so glad you're doing the call-ins. I tried to write you and tag you and everything, and if I ever get a response, my heart's just beating. I just love you so much.
Well, this is better, right? I want to know my audience. This is mainly the reason I do this, because I really want to see your all's faces and tell you how much I love all of you. And like, you guys keep me going. And that's really the objective of this, is because I want to, I do hope secretly, like, I get some controversy, some people that a liberal just decides to call in and gets crazy. But
I do too. I want to see it.
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be that person that calls in soon.
I'm waiting. We're just waiting. It's like
I rescue dogs and I teach school. So
wow, how many dogs?
I don't know. I just love you. Thank you for all you do.
You got it, Kelly. Thank you so much. God bless you. Jackie baby, you're on mute. You're on mute, baby. Jackie baby, you're on mute.
Better?
Yep, now I can hear you.
Awesome. How you doing, Nino?
Every day, just life in general.
I know how hard it is. I took care of, for 11 years, I worked at a place called the 𝗵𝗶𝗱𝗶, taking care of elderly people in their 90s, and I know where you're at. And I think you should take them to a place called the 𝗬𝗃 system, 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗍 and
oh yeah. Actually, well, hold on.
They opened one.
I have that device.
Mm-hmm.
I have that device here in my house.
I heal from there. I've gotten healings from there, and you could take them. It helps them. It'll help them so much because it talks to the cellular body. So you lay in the machines, they take naps. They don't have to do anything, just take naps or roll them in their wheelchairs, and they could just sit there, and it'll help their bodies heal.
I just started putting the red light on them too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that to me, I cannot believe how many benefits I'm getting from that. I feel great with that stuff.
Yeah, I've been doing that at Planet Fitness. I haven't.
Oh, they have that at Planet Fitness?
They have a red light chamber that you can go in with a vibration plate in it, and I've done that. But I go to the 𝗬𝗃 system all the time, and I also am trying to learn about, which maybe you'll start talking about that.
Yeah, I think that's. Wait a minute, I know what that is. But isn't that touchy for YouTube? I haven't looked into it too much, so
I don't know.
It's just the community guidelines they put on this platform is so ridiculous. But people tell me go to Rumble, and then I get a sliver of the audience I get on YouTube. It makes no sense. I can't just go to Rumble because YouTube's my biggest crowd.
Right, I get that.
So like when people tell me that, it's like
I met you one time at the Reawaken tour in Trump Durrell, and you were standing right next to me I'm only 5'3", so you're like a giant. And I was talking to this guy at a table about where you can buy shopping like through Patriots, and you walked up and that guy like totally dismissed me.
I don't think people expect me to be the size I am. When they see me on the camera, they're like,
what are you, 6'9"?
No, I was 6'5". Yeah, 6'5".
Yeah, because I was little, short. But, I wanted to tell you, you asked the other day, and I couldn't seem to get into the chat about doing Thursdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. And people were saying, no, don't do it. I didn't agree with that. I actually would love for you to do that and talk about the aliens and talk about Hollywood and things like that, and change the subject a little bit.
I get tired talking about the deep state stuff all the time, and I'm sure my audience does too. But I'm fully committed because I talk to different. People need to understand it's not just 𝗬𝗏𝗏. I talk to different camps of people that don't want their names to be. I'm an outlet. Like, people want to use my platform to get the information out there. It's up to me to disseminate who I listen to. But I talk to different camps of people to formulate my shows, and then I put it together and put it out there for you guys. So you guys are getting the best. I don't think there's any better information. I'm not speculating or just.
I think you do a great job.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best.
You really are, and that's why I watch every single day. I'm on Nino.tv. I have a problem trying to join in the chat on there for some reason. I can never get on the chat. It's very hard to with disguise. And if you notice, you don't have a super lot of people on the chat on your .tv.
I'll tell them that. I'll tell the tech guys that. And people think like it really is. It's the membership's only $4.99, and I have to pay usage fees. Like, I'm not making like a killing on this at all. I'm putting it out there because I was smart enough to do that when all this hit in 2020, and I knew a guy that builds those sites. I was like, dude, can you build me a site? And he goes, yeah. So that's how it happened. But I have to pay a tech team and then the usage fees. So I'm not hiring the price. I'm not doing anything like that. It's only $4.99. And I even put an 800 number that I'm paying for older people to call, so they can, because a lot of stuff, they're not tech savvy. So there's an 800 number on the site. And it's just, I don't know. I'm just doing my best, man. I started this in 2020. I'm not going to end it.
I think I've been probably watching you since 2022. And I woke up in 2020, but I started finding.
Oh, what happened? We lost her. We lost her. All right, Jackie, I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Is it call back on the next show? I got to jump to the next caller. I love you, sweetheart. I love you. All right, bye. All right, next Trouble. Oh boy.
Hey,
Trouble, how's it going?
I just thought I'd hop on and actually answer the question that you had. The business with the AOC and the Beyoncé, they're probably using it, and instead of doing their donation site, I forget what it is, but they went after it with
USAID.
No, not that one. Blue something.
Okay. Yeah. What is it called? 𝗬𝗏𝗶𝗹 or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, Act Blue. So instead of, and I only know this because I ran for office a couple of times, but a lot of the GOP, because of the backlash that they were getting for Win Red, we started telling people donate directly to the candidate, because like Wake County in North Carolina, we had a couple guys running for office for the
Act
mayor.
Blue.
And
That's what it's called. Someone put it in the chat. Act Blue.
And so what we had trouble with was that they would donate money to Wake County, and Wake County, it spreads it out. So you can put in a higher amount of money to Wake County, and then, you can keep donating to them. And because they're a PAC, they can spread it out. Whereas whenever you donate directly to a candidate, it's a smaller amount, and you're limited. you can't like contribute with a spouse or whatever to, you know, increase your odds of being able to go. So the guys were complaining just before the election. They all lost. It was for the mayor race. So we've never had a Republican mayor in Wake County. So what the guys were saying to me was that we didn't get any money from the county. So our GOP never gave them money.
Wow.
Now,
Doesn't surprise me.
With the other side of the fence, you know, you've got them laundering money every which way they can. So to me, if you can't go through Act Blue and you can't go through the other one, then you could use the guise of directly donating to AOC. And then with the whole, you know, hiding it by saying, oh, this person donated and that person donated, you could still use that crap. Plus, there's a cash limit of, I want to say $50 was our limit that we could take. If you can keep taking it and keep saying, oh, I'm just randomly getting $50.
Wow,
So,
that's the limit?
I think so. It's been a while since I've looked at it because it's been since 2022. But basically, the Federal Election Commission has certain rules and guidelines that you have to follow. And most people don't realize this. I got into a fight with one of the locals when I last ran. There's called testing the waters. So a candidate is allowed to test the waters before they officially file. When you're running for a federal office, you file with the Federal Election Commission. And then for North Carolina, you wait until like December, and then you file with the State Board of Elections. So that's when I actually have to pay a filing fee. For US Senate and the House, it's $1,740. So you pay to get on the ballot. But
wow.
That doesn't make
Pay
it
to
official
play.
until you've paid to get on the ballot. Well, you know, you got to print all the ballots out.
Right.
But, you know, that's their excuse. So, you know, I ran across a candidate that was just like, well, you don't, you know, I don't have to file anything. Well, I'm like, no, you do have to start filing your paperwork because you've already spent $1,000 or raised $1,000. You're past your threshold. So that's, you know, a lot of the stuff that they, you know, they go out and they don't tell anybody about it. So you've got one opportunity for them to be laundering money, and the other opportunity is that GoFundMe for the guy that they just sent to El Salvador. So I had noticed during
GoFundMe is going to
research,
be huge. You're right.
yeah. So you've got previous times where they did this. I've told you about Patriot games with Greg Phillips. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
one of the guys that was working with him was suggesting, and this was after Patriot games, he suggested, go research this, go research that. And I said, okay, fine. So I'll go out and I'll research it. And it's just me by myself. And one of the events was in Florida. He gave me 2 names, didn't tell me that they were cops. When I pulled up the cop names, I found articles talking about this false flag event. Another person had already done the research, and the research was they had an abandoned Chinese restaurant. They made it look like the restaurant was up and running, and they staged the event there. And then when they got done, they had this whole thing about back the blue. And all these accounts got started. They started funneling in money into all that. And, you know, that's great for a Republican candidate, because if you're trying to do, you know, a campaign and you want all the Republicans all riled up going, oh my God, we don't want, you know, something like this
Makes
happening
sense.
again. We need to have a Republican in here. So that kind of crap happens, and now you see all this other stuff. So what we need to do is probably go in, and the problem with GoFundMe would be that the names that you're publicly seeing wouldn't necessarily be the real names. You could probably fake that information as well. So
wow. So
it would be
GoFundMe is probably going to be
crazy.
the next way. It's
Yeah,
probably what
and
they're doing now.
I think they're already using it as the next way, and they
I
might
think you're
have a
right.
couple of other sites that they're doing, and it wouldn't surprise me if in the near future they get hacked.
Interesting.
Not by the United States, maybe by Russia.
Yep.
You know, since they have a
Yeah. I
habit
get
of
what you're saying.
giving
Thank you,
us
sweetheart.
information afterwards.
No, you got it. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yep.
You got it. Thank you. That's valuable information, folks. How's it going, Deb?
Hey, Nino.
Man, I thought that went away.
Oh, hell no.
I thought that was gone forever. No.
No. Fellow Texan here. Listen, I just wanted to say something real quick about Elon.
Okay.
Go back and listen to some of your conversations with 𝗬𝗎𝗂𝗪.
Uh-huh.
And she grew up with him. He went through a lot of the stuff she went through. So no, I don't trust him at all.
I don't either, but man, oh man, oh man. I can't revisit that. Also 𝗓𝗏𝗪 has come on. He actually did a podcast with allegedly his nanny that said that this kid was into some really weird shit.
Yeah.
Elon was into some weird shit when he was a kid, and the family was all occultists. Like they were all into witchcraft, and so I think personally that Trump's got something on him, just like he does with Graham.
I think
they have control, and that's all Trump cares about.
I think they've either flipped him or he's a robot. You know, like,
dude, there's something with that. Did you see Mark Beckham on my show talking about AI?
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said? This guy, did you not hear what he said when he says, you know, whenever he goes back? I'm like, what do you mean goes back?
Right.
To where he came from? Like, what do you mean? Like, so I've talked to him personally about it, and I'm hoping he comes on my show to talk about that more, because I'm not going to betray his trust or anybody's trust, but these are credible sources, man, that are saying some really wild shit. That
I don't think it's that wild, honestly.
And why is Elon trying to seed the planet? What the hell is that all about?
Exactly. Like with his Baphomet demonic. I mean, look, he names his kids X. Who does
weird.
that? No, there's X means something in biblical terms.
Yeah.
And there's just so much underlying about him. I just don't trust him. Honestly,
I don't trust him either.
I love Trump, but I don't even trust him. I mean,
no, you can't trust any man. You can't trust man. That's it.
Everybody's right.
Yeah, that's it. There's only one man that came here and changed everything. That was Jesus Christ. And that's
right. Absolutely.
And you know what?
The Bible tells us what's happened, and all of this Democrat, Republic, blah blah blah. It's the same phoenix rising. It's the same bird with two wings. One's just a slower route to get there.
I think you're right.
Absolutely. You put your faith in Jesus Christ, and we can't really.
And it's going to be good for a while, right? The cleanup, the getting rid of all it's all problem, reaction, solution. Biden brought the problem. Here's the solution. You know, we're still not even, nobody's discussing these. It's just, but I do know the people that I talk to that I know these are coming.
Yeah.
Those are coming, but are they going to be replaced with AI?
They will be. Eventually they will be. Everything.
Oh, we all going to be like, yes, we win. And then we got a whole government. Well, you guess what, folks? You can't trust the judges, can't trust Congress. They're all corrupt. But we got an AI system that will never be flawed.
Right.
That's where I think this is going.
Go back and watch the old movies with Westworld. I mean, it's what's going on today. You know,
100%.
they put robots and bots and people in charge of everything, and then they become more human than a human. And I think
they're among us, man. I think these are when I was this is a true story, and I'll tell it right here. When I was doing my anti-bullying speeches, okay, and I was going to my friend's house who's just passed away. He was an alcoholic. He died. And we were doing this to go speak at schools, and I was telling my story. I was doing my PowerPoint presentations. I was practicing. We got on video, shadow beings walking around the room. On video, wow. You could see them walking, like complete legs and arms, walking past me, past him. We saw some kind of light that was on a table. It was a red cloth shoot up into the wall and then move off into the ceiling and disappear. It was like the craziest stuff, and we have it on tape, and I have it on video, and I'm thinking about releasing it at some point, but I know these entities exist. I know. They exist.
I totally agree. And, you know, aliens and all this stuff, to me, they're demonic. If they're out there, they're demonic, because Jesus tells us you don't talk with other beings like that. You don't research the dead. You don't try to communicate with blah, blah, blah. So.
But hold on, Deb. That's, a lot of people get mad at me for what I bring on my shows. I bring a lot of new age stuff on my shows because I'm trying to show people that it's my way of, because I always ask the question of Jesus Christ I insert it in all these and all these discussions and all these podcasts, and it makes them think. They go, oh well, yeah. I go, can't you stop abductions with the proclaiming the name of Jesus Christ? Because they're demons.
Yeah, they're demons. And I believe you're right. You can stop a lot of things, anything with the name of Jesus Christ. And not only this, back to one of your shows the other day, we were talking about it. Why is Jesus the only one that gets attacked?
The only one.
You can attack. You can't say a word about Muhammad. You can't say a word about Buddha. You can't say a word about anything. But Jesus Christ has always been the one to be attacked.
100%.
And when you're
I
attacked,
want to pop
you're
on to
on
the
top.
next. I love you, sweetheart. I got to get to the next caller, but
Okay.
thank you for calling
Have
in.
a good one. Thank you.
You
Bye
too,
bye.
sweetheart. Bye-bye. Mike, we got a lot of callers. Hey, what's up, Mike?
Nino, what's going on?
Not much, man. I love talking to all my audience. It's pretty cool.
Hey, well, I'm here to kick you in the nuts.
Good.
You need to get your big ass out surfing. You ain't gonna get eaten by a shark. I promise
Dude,
you.
No, well, bro, they're gonna think I'm a SEAL because, okay, let me just explain. I'm not.
Oh, I've heard the story. I've heard your story.
Dude, I don't. I shouldn't be like that. Do you know that they put me on TMZ because of that?
Of what? I lost you for a second.
No, so I was on TMZ like 13 years ago. I was walking out of Mastro's in LA, and TMZ came up to me. That's when I was undefeated and all that. They're like, "Hey, what's your biggest? What's something you won't do?" And I was like, "I will not surf. I will not surf because I'm scared of surfing." And they put it up on TV. It made TMZ and all this stuff because I said I don't want to surf. I'm scared to death. What's under me in that water, man, dude? You know what's probably my fault? I watch shark attacks on YouTube, and I'm like, dude, I'm scarred for life, bro. And I know if I'm out there in the water and a shark sees me, he's gonna be like, you know what? That's a big piece of meat right there. I'm gonna give it a shot, and ram, he's gonna bite my ass cheek, and it's gonna be game over. I don't trust it.
I surf a place called Shark Park all the time.
You surf at a place called Shark Park.
Look at a place called New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and aerial drone sharks. You'll see thousands of them in the water.
You surf with knowing they're in the water.
Yeah. They're like big puppy dogs. See, they're only where that's at is an inlet connecting to the intercoastal, and that's where they breed and learn how to. So when they come out, they're babies. So if you do get bit, it's like somebody touching you, basically. Yeah, it's gonna get stitches, and I know a lot of people who's bit, but I don't know a lot of people who's gotten limbs ripped off. It's like a little snapper ass Chihuahua dog biting you. 2 puncture holes and you're fine.
I've never heard that in my life. That a shark bite is like a Chihuahua bite.
I mean, but what you see in the news is people getting mauled and stuff like that, deadly stuff. That happens. That's a lot in South Africa and Australia where the big killers are. But
yes.
Here in Florida, I mean, I'm 30 minutes from the shark bite capital of the world.
Dude, do you know people that have been bit?
Yeah, I do. I personally know about 6 people who's been bitten. The person who was bitten the worst was wearing the actual shark repellent thing. So I think they're an attraction.
Wow. So that kind of goes with my theories of like even like sunscreen, like oh my God.
There's more surfboards. That's all I've been doing all my life, man. Hey, you know what? I'm afraid of getting punched in the face, but you know what? You're the boxer. I'm the surfer.
Yeah, you got me beat, dude. I'm sorry. You got me beat.
I wanted to let you know that that stuff that Scott Bennett was using that I've known about that the early 90s, and man, I can tell you some stuff about that. I live right here at the Space Coast. I watched every shuttle, every rocket go up. Let me tell you, we know what we got taught, but once you get your eyes open, you see the lies. And all I know is I know what I know, and I know what I don't know.
Me too.
And it's I've seen strange. I'm 12 miles from Patrick Space Force Station, the head of the Space Force. I'm 12 miles from NASA. I've seen some strange things in the skies around here.
Really? So, well, I'm down the street from White Sands, and I've seen check this out. This is a true story. Before my viral video went viral, a week before, man, when I was driving through Alamogordo through White Sands, all these beautiful lights appeared in the sky at night, and they would disappear and then reform in a different constellation, disappear and then form again, and then one would take off and then they'd come back. And I was like, I could not. And then when I pulled out my phone to record them, they disappeared.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
So,
insane.
Have you seen footage of like the spinning triangle that changes colors? I recorded one Christmas Eve in my front yard.
Really? So what do you think that is? Do you think it's reverse engineered government stuff?
Huh?
You think it's reverse engineered like government stuff since you're next to NASA and
I think that might have something to do with it, but then again, I know the governments will shut people up because my grandfather wired mission control.
Wow. Okay.
And he died in a mysterious car wreck with a government vehicles, and it was back in the 70s. And but another thing I wanted to say is people questioning Elon and is he good, is he evil? Look, he might have been. I've seen the Baphomet contest, but I think people, they see one thing and they forget that Joseph in the Bible, he was an assassin. He killed people.
Right.
So
God uses those people.
And I don't think they're not giving God enough credit to where, yeah, he may still be doing this, but God can make that man and anybody do whatever they want to use them for his mission. So that's
You're
what
100%
I think.
right. Well, thank you, Mike. I'm going to jump on to the next caller.
Good. Get out surfing. Hit the wave pool in Texas.
All right, I'll do it for you, bro, and I'll record it. I'll have someone record it. I don't think it's going to be very coordinated, though. Core unit.
Brother Nino. Happy Friday. Happy
I
Friday.
remember you've been on here a few times.
Couple.
Haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you're blurry, but it's what's it going on, core unit?
Not much. Just enjoying my Friday. How's your day going so far?
Well, it's Easter, and I don't know. I'm going to go up and see my parents right now and probably get depressed. But, they're still around. So, people say, you got to enjoy them while you can. I'm like, I don't think you understand the situation I'm in. Dirty diapers. So
sweet time. Liminal.
Yeah, it's the twilight. It's the twilight time for them. It's the fading away, man. But you got a question?
Well, on the subject of the women going into space, have you ever, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you believe there is a firmament. Is that correct?
Dude, in my core, I do believe there's outer space. And I think that's the heavens, right? I think there's that. But I think there's something there stopping anybody from going further than they I don't believe we can go past lower orbit. And I think that's why astronauts are just stuck right there. And that's why they just went up to a certain point and came down. And I think Elon is testing these rockets. This is just my theory. I think Elon's testing these rockets to try to break through the firmament. And every time you see a rocket explode or whatever it's doing, it looks like there's some kind of wavy particle, it doesn't look like a natural explosion. It looks like they're waves of stuff. And it just looks like it's hitting something like a silicone or like something's up there, man. And that's just what I believe. I'm not gonna plant my flag and say the earth is flat and all this. I don't know, bro. I'm not saying I know anything, but I feel like there's something up there we can't get past.
Right. I don't know either, brother. But I found it interesting. There's a video, if you look up on YouTube, of sound bending water.
What is it called?
It's just look up sound bending water.
Sound bending water. Okay, I'll tell my audience, guys, got to look that up. Did you also see the guy that took a submarine and he died in a helicopter crash? Did you hear about this guy that took a submarine down there and he was in the darkest, deepest part of the ocean, and he saw another body of water under the ocean, like another dimension? So as above, so below type of thing to me. So at the bottom of the ocean, this submarine even tapped it, and it was like silicone. He was tapping it, and they were bouncing, and they could see another lake with clams, everything. Oh, under the ocean, another body of water that looked like a lake, leading to another dimension. I don't know, but as soon as he was getting ready to talk about it, he died in a helicopter crash. So it makes you wonder, man. I think all of this stuff, man, is being, I think they're only releasing what they want to come out to us, bro. And that's it. And they're going to control the whole disclosure.
There's always a bit of truth in legends, but this is manipulated beyond recognition of the truth. They just sprinkle enough of the truth in it to make it seem truthful.
100%. They can give you 95% truth in that fight, or 98% truth in that, or 99. That 1% of lies, all it takes.
Yep.
All right, core unit. Let me get to the next Mama Bird here. Thank you so much, my man. Mama Bird.
Hi,
hey,
Nino.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, day's just about to begin, so here we go.
Yeah. Well, we finally have nice weather in Central Ohio.
Well, we have dust storms here, so it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's that's why I call it 𝗪𝗃𝗄𝗃.
Yeah, the weather's getting ready to hit. We'll have the storms and stuff rolling in. I'm part of the B2T ministry, and we have actually prayed for you before on backstage.
Thank you so much.
And pray for you. I have a prayer group that I do 3 times a week with ladies from Australia and England and Canada and all over the United States. And we pray for you guys in that group too, because I know how hard it is what you're going through right now. So
it's honestly, I'm pretty open about it, like everything else, because my ego died with boxing. I don't think people understand. Like, people don't understand. Like, I was there. I was 36-0. I was the prospect. Everyone was looking at me to be heavyweight champ. My whole life got nuked. I turned into a bad alcoholic. I was watching that movie Leaving Las Vegas the other day, and I was like that guy for a while. Like, I was like so bad, and like, I turned my life around, and if I can do it, I promise anybody else can do it. Anybody can do it. And like, I've been tested along the way of my journey of being sober, and you will be tested. It's not an easy road. It's not easy to be sober. It takes a warrior. You have to be a warrior. And right now, like, there's nothing more than I would like to do than go to the bar, see my friends, and drink and just forget about my whole situation. But once I do that, it's over.
Yeah.
I know that I can't. I know that I feel like I have a spiritual contract with God, and the only reason he's allowing me to do what I'm doing right now is because I'm staying sober.
Yeah, well, we all do. And I have a 33-year-old son that has a disability, and I kind of go through somewhat what we're going through. And it's a hard challenge, but you have people that are behind you and backing you and praying for your strength and perseverance every day. And just wanted to let you know, my husband and I watch every day that you're on.
Thank you.
And he actually will only watch you now because he said you're the only one that gives the real news. So,
well, I read it pretty strong. There's a reason why I read it the way I do, is because it's so pathetic.
Yeah.
That when I read the news, that's how I'm trying to wake people up to, like, look how dumb this shit is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look what they're telling you. Like, I'm reading it the way it deserves to be read. Look at what they're telling you. People don't think about it. When they read the news, they just read it, and that goes as fact. What I'm doing is breaking the whole thing.
Yeah, you are. And you're waking a lot of people up with what you're saying. And you have a great voice, and it's going far. And the one thing I wanted to say about the whole flat earth thing, my husband is a flat earther. My daughter thinks he's crazy. My philosophy on that, and about a lot of the other things that are going on right now, and I believe the Lord is the one that told me, gave me this phrase, is this isn't a heaven or hell issue. If it was a heaven or hell issue, then we'd press it a little bit more. But does it really matter if the earth is flat or if it's round? So it isn't a heaven or hell issue. So there's no reason to argue about it.
But think about this. Everything has been a lie. Evolution, all of it. They've been like programming us in schools to take in evolution, outer space. And it's all been a programming to where you just never question it. And it's fact. I mean, if you see any of the debates of flat earth and global earth, every single time I have to give it to the flat earthers, because the knowledge that the global earthers go to is what they learned in school. That's
Exactly.
they don't look at both points. They don't research both sides, which the flat earthers do. And that's why they win. As ridiculous as that sounds, that they win these debates, is because they've researched both sides. The global earthers don't.
Right. Well, and
They just regurgitate what they learn in school.
I believe that there are things that we see in the world. There was a while back that the Lord told me, we live in a snow globe, and I don't talk a lot about that just because I'm not.
I'm more behind that than anything. I think you could be right about that.
And I that's what I believe, because the way that you see everything, like the sun and the moon go up in the sky, and how the orbit of the stars are, the Bible talks about that. And there are things in the Bible, doesn't say that it's a flat earth, but it alludes to it being a flat earth. So it's very possible that we do. And I believe that the truth will eventually come out. Don't know when.
But I also see, like, when 𝗬𝗶𝗀 comes on, he's a time analyst. I'd like to bring him on because I do believe everything, just like Nikola Tesla discovered, everything's mathematical, and that is God's language. And I think there's a pattern to everything. And if you just look at, a tree, the roots, whatever, it represents our lungs. If you know what I'm saying, like everything is as above, so below, microcosms, fractals, everything's fractals. And I think it's holographic. But I think also, I'm also on board with the simulation stuff, but that doesn't take away God. It just means that he's the master programmer. It just
far above us, definitely.
Yeah, and I do think we're in like an enclosed system.
I do, and I've met Bo, and I agree with some of the stuff that he has said, because I've been part of the Reawaken. I went to almost every one of them, and I believe a lot of the stuff that he's saying. Not 100% sure on, like, he pinpoints dates, but I believe that I'm part of the tribe of Issachar too, because I see a lot in the numbers, and I see things that other people don't, and I keep it to myself because people will think that I'm, crazy.
No, not here, not on this channel. But I'll say this too, though. So another thing that happened to me when I was boxing, when I lost, right? So I was 36-0 when I got knifed in the throat, and all the stuff that happened to me when I finally got knocked out. I remember I got knocked out twice in a row. Like, I came back and I just couldn't get my footing. I just was not the same guy. And those guys' records, man, this is so weird. And if you can go look at it I tell everyone, go look, BoxRec, go look at their records. Both guys back to back had the same record. I think it was 27 or 23 or 27 and 17 and 3 draws. You can't find those records anywhere if you scoured all divisions with everyone's records and mix and match and find the perfect records. And I didn't see it at the time, but now looking at it in hindsight, they have the exact same record. Like, the synchronicity is insane. Like, to me, that doesn't happen. You may have a guy 10-0 and 10-0. Okay, that can happen.
Right.
But 27, 17, and 3 draws, to get 1 draw is insane. But the same number, both have the same record. And even I've had a friend that's into this. His name is 𝗬𝗏𝗍𝗶, and he's from Bulgaria. He's like, bro, he's like, this is, you were supposed to leave boxing. He goes, that's a sign right there. That's mathematically impossible. That's a 1 in gazillion, quadrillion chance that you can match those 2 records identical. I don't know. And that was just, like, to me, a sign that that's the end of my career. And then I came back and won, but I blew out my back. And the whole reason I never got back in boxing is because of my back. But I think God shows his way in patterns sometimes and in synchronicities.
Definitely. I agree with that. I completely
Well, Mama
agree.
Bird.
Well,
thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And, you got it. So I took a lot of calls today.
Have a great Resurrection Sunday.
You too, sweetheart. You too. Thank you. Alex.
Nino.
All right. Well, we went 2 hours today. We did a lot today, but you know what? That was awesome. I wanted to meet my audience, and Fridays are call-in Fridays.
We didn't do it. We didn't do it last week anyway. It was nice to catch up with people. And
you're right. We didn't do it last week. So yeah, I think it was cool. Folks, share this video far and wide. I appreciate everybody on here. You're all family to me and Alex. Alex is a new addition, and we both appreciate all of you. So thank you so much. And we'll be back Monday for what? Gift card giveaway Monday?
Gift card giveaway Monday. And we'll get any ones that still haven't gone out. We're getting them out. Don't worry, folks.
Yeah, we're getting them out. You're $25. $25. I'm like the new Oprah. All right, bro. I'm out of here, folks. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting,